Tanja, talk to us. You've been writing notes. Talk to us, Tanja.
I know she down there writing
Yo,
notes.
she's serious. She's in a serious corporate meeting right now. Y'all don't understand.
I love it. I love it.
Listen, I was actually ordering pizza. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm hungry. I'm hungry at midnight. But what I was gonna say is that I think some people just move too fast as well in relationships now. Um, Even as we get older, like some people get so concerned about being alone and
Feeling like you don't have
or
time. Why my
yeah, like time's running out.
Mhm.
And I honestly think for me, I've only been married once, but I'll just say that
Okay.
that it's easy to get in a
I can hear you
marriage,
now.
but I can't imagine what it's like getting out of it, right? And before you go tie yourself up with someone, take time to get to know them because in this season, I'm in my 50s. I know for certain if we can't be friends, if we can't talk, if we can't, really engage and enjoy each other, what's the point? Like, what's the point of it?
And do a
Like,
background check.
yeah, I mean, okay, that's a whole different topic right
I'm just
there.
saying.
That's a whole different
In this day
topic.
and age, you really have
Yeah,
to be careful about who you're
I
dating
was
and
Dexter on my former
who
life.
they
Yes,
are.
that is true.
yes,
I think that you need there are several uh,
that's true.
there are several organizations out there that you can pay to do a background check on somebody, and you can find their whole criminal history if they have one.
Did
You
you,
If they're
know,
married,
can you
I
guys hear
got
me now?
families.
yes,
Okay, I hear you now,
Yes.
Bina.
So you can do all that, but I'm telling y'all, crazy don't sneak up on you. There are indicators. So I think what a lot of people need to do, men and women both, when you see those red flags, because what happens is the red flags arise and we ignore them. Do not ignore. Don't feel bad for abandoning mission. This person seems cuckoo crazy. I'm going to, shift, right? Don't continue because there are behaviors and clues that this person is someone you should not interact with.
right. Like
So
when
that
they show
initial
up at the house with a
interaction,
duffel bag.
yeah, yeah. Oh my God. I still itch off of that. Like, don't come to my house with a duffel bag. But I mean, just temperament, conversation, like as you probe further in your conversations, that first conversation can be a real fact finder. And you
Yeah.
should know immediately if this person has secured a second conversation. And then after a second conversation, maybe do coffee, meet at a mutual location. Like there's rules to engagement,
Yeah.
before you get too deep with Dexter, there's
Right.
rules to it.
Right.
You got to
I
have
know
a
Exactly.
you
screening
did.
process. You got to
You do.
screen and don't let anything.
I think that dating over 40, like Tanja was saying, a lot of times we feel like we move too fast. We feel like time's running out. You know, we have this why not mentality. You're afraid of being alone. We need to hurry up and find somebody. Um, at this stage, for me,
I
I
don't
am
think any of that.
49 years old. I I have I think I have gotten over that feeling of, oh, I need to find somebody or I'm in a hurry or anything like that. I'm in a season of I'm good. I'm in a season of I'm enjoying my peace. And but before that though, I will say that dating over 40 was very difficult. Finding someone without the drama. We all have baggage, you know, especially when you're over 40. You're 9 times out of 10 you're going to tend to find someone who has children, who has been married before. People who are long, maybe long in their careers or whatever like that. And I just think that as society has changed about what is acceptable and what these as Savina had mentioned earlier about um, gender roles and roles being so blurred and so confused. I think that women often tend to accept things that they should not accept. And I know I've made that mistake before, thinking, well, you can work with this, you can work with that, and the truth is, you know what, you really can't. You know, if you're a man, and I know that as we've evolved, it's 2025, and people always talk about, oh, you know, roles have changed, men and women are different, blah blah blah. But in reality, I think we do need to go back to some of those traditional roles, because um, I truly believe, if you, as a man, if you don't work, you don't eat. And if you're a man and you don't have a job, the last thing you need is a girlfriend. Okay, you need a career counselor. If you don't have nowhere to live, you know, you try to figure out where you're gonna stay. Then at that point, you need an apartment finder. Okay, if you're having some money issues, you can't pay your phone bill, and you know, you things of that nature, then you need a financial advisor. You don't need a girlfriend in any of those scenarios. You know, you ain't got nothing to eat, you ain't got nowhere to live, you ain't got no money, you don't have a job.
Those are all you need a job.
You know what I'm saying? All of that stuff you need. Yeah, right. Right. You need some sort of assistance. But we are in, unfortunately, when it comes to dating, we are in a time where so many men are out here dating for a purpose, and it's not for a good purpose. They're dating for help, for financial help and financial security. And it's sad, because a lot of times they a lot of men they know what to say, they know what facade to put up, you know, until suddenly now, if you really care about me, you know, you should, you know, pay for my airfare, or you know, or loan me some money for a down payment.
I think those are all anecdotal. I don't think those are mass majority of men.
Well, you know what? Unfortunately, Twin, you have not dated over 40, and I really don't.
That's fair.
It's very. Dating now has just become a lot more difficult than it used to be.
I don't know what it's like.
Really, and now for me, because I feel like I've been dating for the last 100 years. No, but I actually feel like dating at this age, because we're in this, like, pretty much, let's call it 50s, right? That's our pool. I actually feel like it's a lot easier because everything is up front. I feel like there's less games because everybody is strong in who they are. So no one's really trying to discover themselves. At 50, you know exactly who you are. So it's kind of easy to kind of peel back who is qualified to date you and who just really should not even be trying. I think at this age, it just goes into, what do you feel like being bothered with? And sometimes
that's deep. That's deep. Yeah, but with regards, Tanja said something earlier. I would just say, potentially for some, if you run into a person, man in particular, and I think we all kind of agreed earlier that if a man will move mountains if he wants what he wants, right? And especially if a man is self-aware, and then he really is going to be moving, or he might appear to be moving at an accelerated speed because he's ready, he's self-aware, he identifies, his person, and he's moving. There's no need in playing around and be like, let me get the navigation and take the long route. For what? I know where I'm going. So it's not always in lieu of, without wanting to go to the friendship and all that. I think the friendships and all those are extremely important. I think that if his intentions are as he claims to be, and he wants to seriously date and pursue the person, of course the friendship is going to be a factor, and he's going to want that himself. I don't think he's going to abandon that part. And I think we all agree. After a while, you got to have something outside the bedroom to keep you there, right? So,
Ian, let me pose this question to you. What is the hardest thing about dating over 40 or dating at this age?
All right, I can only speak as a heterosexual black man.
Okay.
One, especially in this anti-black society, um, how it affected us as a community and men and women are.
Professor Ian, Professor,
Yes.
I want to know. I don't want a social studies lesson. Okay. I don't need a. I don't. I no.
The
I
hard,
want to know what Ian thinks personally. I don't want to know how it affected our community or none of that political stuff. I want to know what Ian thinks is the hardest thing about dating over at this age. Okay, honestly, and you can be gully about it. It don't matter. Ain't nobody gonna be offended on this panel.
Say in 60 seconds or less.
Right.
um, the hardest thing.
What is it? What do women do that make it difficult for you to to in your opinion to find someone? What do women do that are either turning you off or just that you dislike or that's just made it hard for you to find a mate?
Well, I would say, and I've even put this on my profile that I said, some people aren't as ready as they claim to be. I think a
Okay.
lot of people want to be in relationships, but they're not ready for it. I think a lot of women want a real man, but aren't ready for him when they see one. Right? They're not.
Okay.
They're not ready for that, and what that means. They want a man who's healed and ready, and all the emotionally, mature and all this other stuff. But what does that mean? And and when they, the saying, be careful what you ask for, you just might get it. So then what happens when you have that before you? Because now that person that you say you want has some, they're going to hold you accountable to a certain standard too, right? So for me, the difficult part has been, one has definitely been either daddy issues and unresolved traumas, and the other has been a lack of self awareness. And I've seen from my perspective, people aren't ready to talk about vulnerability. They don't want to reveal themselves. It's everything's filter, 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 and all these other things, and every other thing that's fake, that's putting up something between you seeing the real them, and it's a turnoff. For men like confidence too. I'm just gonna, so for the ladies out there who's listening, chiming in and listening to this podcast, men are attracted to confidence too. We can tell a woman who's confident. There's a difference between confidence and cocky. But a self-aware woman who's confident in who she is and her, as a black man who prefers black women, we want that.
I'm gonna put a funk flex bomb.
Yo, bro. I mean, we
What
we
you said.
want
I'm
we
gonna
want
put that
that.
on
We
there.
really
Facts.
really want that. And there's something
Quinn, why you
sexy
looking like that?
about a woman, a black woman who is confident in her femininity and her natural black beauty and all these other things. And
So you're saying
I
if,
don't see
if I'm
that's
hearing you
hard to
correctly,
find.
so the hardest thing about dating at this age is it's hard to find a woman who is truly confident and self-aware. You're finding a lot of women who are simply not ready for what they say that they want.
Right. I'm finding a lot of that for myself. I find a
Okay.
lot of that, and it's yeah.
Tasha, are you dating right now or considering dating?
I'm considering. I'll just, yeah, but I think I'm kind of different, right? Because I've been just kind of, I have not dated in 4.5 years.
Okay.
And I just wasn't ready emotionally after the loss of a spouse, you know.
Right.
But I can tell you that more recently, since I didn't mean to cut you off, Yaya.
No,
Were you about to ask me a question?
I just wanted to know, what your thoughts might be on,
Okay.
how it
But
difficulties in dating at this age.
it's been interesting though, because had, I've had encounters with men, like from the perspective either at work or I'm out. And it's interesting the pool of men that I've come in contact with, right? I've come in contact with men that are just visual and they're like, hey, let's hang out. And I'm thinking, I don't know anything about you. What do you really know about me? Take some time to get to know me because I'm not the one. I don't need to get married. I'm emotionally balanced. I would like to be in a healthy relationship and build something, but you're going to have to get to know me in this season. Like, you're going to have to take an opportunity to kind of find out, what do I like to do? I want to know more about you. I want to know a little bit about your life experiences, what your triggers are. Like, what you're not going to do is get me in a situation where I've committed and I care about you. And I feel like, and I discover that you have issues. You have trauma that you're not aware of.
Men have
That's what you're not going to do.
resolved trauma too, and that is
Yeah.
an absolute reality
Yeah.
that we as women deal with. And
Yeah.
Sabrina, what
And I'm
about you? What are your difficulties in dating at this age?
Can you guys hear me?
Hmm.
Yeah.
I think my difficulty because I've enjoyed dating, right? I've had a good
Mhm.
dating life. I think right now, when I say it depends on what you want to be bothered with, I don't know if I really want a relationship right now. I'm going through a season where career wise, I have a lot of new things happening. I have like different ambitions and like politically, I'm building my political career. I may be doing some changes in my actual career. So I feel like I've experienced all the things of dating, and I mean I'm not out there, but I met all kinds of different men and different stories, and enjoyed it all. And now it's just like I haven't met anything that interested me, like nothing new or different. It's like, oh, if I meet someone, oh, you remind me of dude from here, yeah, yeah, So I find myself, I don't know if you call it profiling people, like you kind of remind me of this dude. So it's nothing new. So maybe if I met someone new that intrigued me, it's like, oh, okay, maybe. But right now, I'm not really interested.
Okay.
I'm just not interested.
Well, let me tell y'all what my difficulties are. Okay,
Okay,
men
girl.
You've been waiting for that, huh?
men lie. Okay, and I just want to
Uh
know
oh.
why y'all lie so damn much. I just want to know, why do y'all lie so much? Now,
Oh,
I have
Jesus.
I have pondered this question so
Lord
much
Jesus.
when it comes to men and me in particular. And this is what I've gathered from the experiences that I have had with men. Either I
Jesus.
meet men who, and this is coming from stuff that they themselves have said. Now, if it's true or not, who knows? Because men lie. Now, I've had guys tell me that I was
Oh, Jesus.
the marrying kind. There was a guy that I went out on a date with some years back. Nice guy, seemed to have it all together. But he told me that I was the type of woman that you marry, and he just was not ready for that yet. Okay, it sounded honest. I wasn't necessarily happy about it, but okay. Um, men, from what I've gathered from all the stuff I put together, men tend to be somewhat intimidated by me, and I don't know if it's maybe I'm dating, you know, from the swamp, the bottom of the barrel. I don't know if I'm dating like just a lower quality of man who would find intimidating. I don't know, but
I
I
can tell
just
you.
feel I just feel as though one of my difficulties these days is that somehow men seem to perceive a woman who is strong, who is educated, who's got herself, together, or perceived to have everything together, and they start running scared and think, oh, well, I've got to be this type of guy in order to be with her. So they start lying. And then as you start to get to know them and you start spending time with them, the facade starts to crumble and you start to realize, well, wait a minute, you're not really everything that you said you were. So then when you can't build trust, you can't really build a relationship. So that's been, I feel like a big part of my difficulty is, because men lie. Why not just be honest, be yourself, tell the truth, and then we don't have to have these awkward conversations where now I'm questioning you about, well, wait a minute, that's not what you said before, or this ain't adding up. And it's a shame to have those conversations with men who are over the age of 40. It's quite discouraging, I'll say. So Savina, and hopefully the men can chime in. Although Twin, you have not dated over 40, perhaps you can shed some light as to why men lie. But
Now, I'm
I'd be
gonna begin
glad to.
right quick from my friend. Well, men lie, people lie, but no,
cut it out.
this is speaking. I've been Ya's friend for some decades now.
30
So
years.
my friend is very nice, and she don't know how to abandon mission. You give people chances who should not have chances. Okay, so
I put
we
my
need to work
business
on
out
your.
there.
We gotta work on the pre-screener, sis. We gotta work on the pre-screener. Okay. Everybody lie. People lie. Everybody lie. But some people's, yeah, we got to pre-screen. Weed them all out. Just weed. There's,
Spoken like a true friend.
yeah.
Spoken like a
You
true
got to
friend.
pre-qualify them. Yeah.
So why men lie? I think. Why do men lie? So I think that it depends on, and all of y'all said this. And I think Tanja said it first, or Sabina said it first, as far as what a man wants. So I think a lot of the lying comes down to the fact, and it's difficult. Sometimes as a man, you got to step back and also say, how would I feel as a woman, right? So I think what I tend to get from women is that there's a fear of being lied to. I think women are more scared of being lied to than men are scared of being lied to, because you got to be able to trust the man you're going to be with. So there's a level of, so I understand where that armor comes up for women sometimes, because we've heard since the beginning of times that men are lying, and that's something that women are worried about typically, because you end up becoming in a situation where women lie. So here's the thing. I think women lie too, but men lie. I think the reason why men lie is because
Everybody lying.
you have men who may not have the right, they don't have the right intention pretty much from the beginning. And men can compartmentalize sex. Men can compartmentalize what they want. So men typically know kind of the direction they want to go almost immediately. So men don't typically meet a woman and be like, well, I just kind of want to mess around, and then they eventually turn into, I want to marry her. It doesn't typically go like that. I'm not saying it can't happen, but men typically kind of know what direction they're going to. I think going back to what I was saying, even as far as with women, like what I'm trying to do with my daughter, she's mad young, but I want to, because of these conversations, we try to say, we're all adults, we're just humans, we make mistakes, we go through this journey. So what I want to try to do for her is to try to help her to understand not how to read men, but you have to be able to discern the men that come around, so you can kind of understand, what they want. And Ian said it earlier too. and everybody said it, but just trying to understand, like, okay, well, what am I seeing? What are the signs that I'm seeing? And also, the main thing I think for women is to
Oh, wait a
understand
minute.
what it
Is your
is you
leg
want.
hurt?
You know, what is it that you want? You know what I'm saying?
Honesty.
And
I mean, for goodness sakes.
well, the honesty, everybody wants honesty, but you also have to be able to look at a person and say, okay, how much dishonesty am I going to see before I'm like, okay, this ain't right. You know what I'm saying? Based on what you want. So, I think men
Well,
men do lie, and people can get deceived. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but the big
you're frozen, twin.
have to see to be like,
Oh, you
okay, this ain't the right situation. You know what I'm saying? So 'cause that way you determine how much time you're going to put in. So it's a big part of it.
it's
But
just it's a scary thing because it's like, at least for me at this stage of my life, any sense of dishonesty strikes a lot of fear in me.
yeah,
Like,
After you drop it though, you can drop it and leave. Like, and
well,
I
and
think
that's
for women,
that's where I'm at this point. That's where I'm at this point where I just, for one, I don't have the patience to deal with anybody right now. I just rather, I'm enjoying my peace. I feel like I'm stuck in a good place. I'm enjoying my
yeah,
immediate family, especially now that Maya's here. Um, it's just, I'm stuck in a good place as far as my immediate family, and I'm really enjoying that and really enjoying my daily routine and my daily life. And I'm not in a place where I care to upset that in any way. And so
right,
when you think about, if a man is going to come into the situation, then he's going to, trust is paramount in that
yeah,
situation. Trust is paramount. And if there's any sense of deception, then it's like all bets are off at that point. Like, you have, or at least for me, I have absolutely no desire in continuing to even try to get to know you, because now it's like, well, if
well,
you're lying about this, who knows
the
what
only
else
thing
you're
that
lying
women can
about?
do See, the only thing that women can do as they get older is they have to be able to increase their level of perception. That's really much and judgment. That's the only thing. The only defense you have, you can't really defend against people lying because you can't control it. The only defense against people who are lying, and this goes for men too.
yep.
The only way to be able to defend it is to be able to increase your perception as you grow. So the better your perception is at the younger you are, that's my opinion. The better chance you have. You know what I'm saying? It's not a foolproof. This is just life. Nothing's perfect, but the only defense of that is just having extremely sharpen your judgment so you can see stuff. Because I think what happens is that you know it's just razor sharp judgment. It's not to blame you, but it just goes back to understanding how to see what's going on based on
Red
what you want
flags.
and understanding it early. That's their only defense against it. So
It's true.
men do lie, but the only reason why men lie is because when you're out here on this dating market, people just want what they want. Everybody wants something. You got to be able to discern what they want early so you could just get it. Because they're not always. It'd be great if everybody just laid stuff on the table and told you everything about them, but most people don't operate like
You know
that.
what? To,
So
it to the point, but only because the subject of lying came up. I think that it sounds like men. Well, I'm the only man that's in the single dating in this age group. From what I'm hearing, I think what we're experiencing, I say we're both experiencing liars. What my experience with liars is, in most cases, women are unaware, are not aware. They don't realize they're saying an untruth because they're just not aware of going back to what I said earlier, as far as people aren't as ready as they think they are, and other things is some of that is because there's never been accountability, so they just don't know that they are like
Help me
this or like.
understand what you mean by someone's not
What I'm saying, the men that you're speaking about, men lie. They are intentionally lying.
correct.
I don't think the women that I've come across that were lying were intentionally lying. They just wasn't. Do you understand what I'm saying? They're just
Yes. Yeah, I got you.
that's what I'm saying. We're both facing liars. We're coming from one is intentional and one is not. I'm not sure which is more. How's the pizza? Good.
But what kind of pizza?
You got pineapples on that pizza? What you got? I'm just checking. All right. And they're both hurtful at the end of the day. You know, when you're in the receiving end of
Well, I
the.
think that an unintentional. I don't even know if it's unintentional. I don't know if it would be lying versus um, just a lack of self awareness. You know, you're saying what you. If someone's unintentionally lying, they might just be saying what they believe to be true at the in the moment, although it just may not be accurate.
Well,
So they may
okay. If but
be
if
Well,
inaccurate.
if
they could be lying to
right,
themselves.
they're lying to themselves. They're lying to
But if
themselves.
Lying to
they
themselves.
don't understand that they're
And
lying to themselves, then they
but I think
are
women,
under a
but that's why I
false
said,
But if but if that
that's why I
person, I
said
guarantee
earlier
that
that.
person that's been lying to themselves have been told the truth several times by other people, and they just don't want to see that.
Yeah, but if you don't believe
Well,
it though, you're still under a false
but
belief.
that's
I
why I
think
said earlier.
that's not as bad as someone intentionally lying
But
to
you know
you.
what? But that's why I said earlier is that I said that that's one of the qualities that women have is lying to themselves because they'll tell themselves something enough, and this is this. No, I know it's hard to understand, but hard to believe. But a lot of times, men don't lie to themselves. Women will convince themselves. No,
I've
men
met
will
some
lie.
men
Men will,
who will
They will
convince
lie, but I don't know that they would lie
straight
to
up bullshit.
themselves.
Like
but
that's not
men.
true.
No, listen what I'm saying. Men do lie, but men don't convince themselves that the lie is true.
Yes, they
Women will
do.
literally
I'm cutting
no,
call bullshit
listen.
on that, twin.
No, listen. I'm not
I'm
listen,
listening.
listen,
I'm
listen.
listening.
I listen, I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but I'm saying that that characteristic look, even if you look at it from a coping perspective, women can cope a lot better than men in situations because they can just convince themselves something is a certain way. There's no question about that, in my opinion. Women can cope and deal with things because they can lie to themselves in a way that men can't lie to themselves. Let me give you an example. No, listen.
A
I'm
lot of times it's
listening.
So,
about the men they're with.
huh?
A lot of times it's about the men they're with.
Uh oh,
They're trying
Uh
to
oh.
see something.
there's that darn
No, I'm with you.
flip
I see
phone
what you're saying.
Wi-Fi.
Move a little closer to the computer because you're feeding back a little bit.
For me,
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
there
you
you
go.
go. What'd you say?
oh, I was saying a lot of times women will lie to themselves about the men they are with. They
That's
tell
the point
that
I'm making.
story. Yeah.
That's what I mean. So women will lie to themselves to cope in a situation, right? Men won't do that. Men can't lie to themselves and be like, "Yo, I'm with a cheating woman who's no good. I'm going to convince myself that this can work and I'll cope." Men aren't built
Men
like
will
that.
lie
They
to
can't.
themselves about other things.
No, I listen. What you're misinterpreting what I'm saying. You're taking lying. Men lie, but they don't lie to themselves. Is what I'm
Yes, they
saying.
do.
There's a difference
Yes, they
between
do.
No,
lying.
we don't.
No,
Yes,
no, they
y'all
don't. I'm
do.
telling you.
Yes,
No,
y'all
listen. You're
do.
not. You're
I'll
not
give you an
listening. What I'm
example. I'll
saying
let
is,
you finish and I'll give you a prime example.
listen. But I'm saying that someone outwardly lying,
Hmm.
and I'm just speaking in generals. I'm not talking about any particular, but in general, men don't lie to themselves to cope. Women will lie to themselves to cope. They will create something in their head and believe it. So
Hmm.
that's what I'm saying as
I'm not
far as
saying
what
that
Ian is
women don't
saying.
do that. Okay, but I'm telling
Well,
you
what I'm
that
saying as
men
far as
do the
his
same thing. Men will lie to themselves about certain things, and they know y'all know y'all do. Y'all know y'all do. You will convince yourself of a patently true
No, what they're
thing.
doing is they're convincing you. That's the difference. Men are
No,
lying.
I have
Men are
met
lying.
men.
Listen,
No, I've met men
men,
who were under the false belief of something, and you could tell by the way they talk, the way they carry themselves, that they actually believe that this is true.
that's to convince you. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
That's the
How
What
men think.
what I'm
You're
trying to
missing
say to you, though,
you're
twin.
missing the difference.
No, I'm
You're
not missing
missing
the
the
difference.
difference.
I understand
What
exactly what
happens?
you're saying.
No, listen. When men are doing that, it's to deceive you. They're trying to like for instance, I get what you're saying, twin. So if a man wants something from you, he's gonna believe his own. He's gonna create this fake thing so you believe it. So he has to pretend like he believes it, but in his heart, he know it ain't true.
Okay, so let me give you
But
an
there's a
example,
goal.
and then you tell me if I'm wrong. Okay.
Sure.
So now, one of the main lies that men tell themselves is that they have a bigger package than they do. Okay, and they will they will sit up here and they will tell you about all the stuff that they gonna do. They gonna put you in a wheelchair and they gonna throw your back out and all this other stuff.
No, it's not even.
I'm out here.
That's not what
No,
I'm talking
listen to
about at
me.
all.
That's what I'm talking about. Lying. It don't matter what it's about. But then
You don't know.
when
You
it
don't
comes
know.
down
Help!
to the down, okay,
Help!
there's nothing there that's gonna have you in no wheelchair, ain't gonna have your back thrown out, it ain't even gonna give you a limp. But they
Can you give another
believe,
example, friend?
I'm just
Yeah, I
saying,
mean it's just
but they
that's not
believe that they gon' they got all this
Woo.
ability, and they don't. Tell me
that is
why,
not
men.
that is
Tell
that
me.
is not that is not a good example because again,
That's a great
man,
example.
a man, man,
That's one
man
thing that men lie about
it's
a lot.
Woof.
so the difference is
Woof.
this is a man saying something a man saying something to convince you versus trying to convince himself.
So
So what I'm saying is
let me
that
ask you
women
then: does he actually believe that all this stuff about his abilities and stuff? Do you think he actually
no,
believes
because I'm talking about the end goal. So the thing you're missing is that the end goal. If the man's end goal is to make you believe that, to make him believe that, so you can believe that. His end goal is something. What I'm saying is
that?
for a
He
woman,
don't really believe that. He knows it's bullshit,
no.
but he's just
So
telling you.
What Ian was saying is that for a woman, her end goal is not to convince the man, it's to convince herself. That's what I'm saying. So
But
that's the difference.
I
So
understand.
a man,
Listen, twin, I understand everything you're saying, but I'm saying that men will tell themselves stuff that they actually believe to be true when they know it's
but I'm
not.
trying to help you see
To
the difference.
convince
So the
themselves,
difference
to
is
make themselves feel better, to help themselves cope with an inadequacy that they are not willing to face, is what I'm telling you. Especially when it
so
comes to that
okay.
physical
I can
attribute.
so
They don't want to
I can understand.
believe that they are
So
inadequate in that area. So they will tell themselves that they got the anaconda going on when
I
really
understand.
they have
I
they
get what
got
you're
a worm
saying.
going. They got a
Man,
worm going.
let me
I
drink my
get it.
smoothies with beets in it, so I don't be that man.
But
I'm just saying, twin. Look,
it's
listen. I know this is uncomfortable because you're okay.
it's not uncomfortable. It's not uncomfortable.
I'm just saying.
They're just not the same
Just
thing.
helping
No,
with my
I'm just
blood flow. Let
explaining the
me go.
difference.
saying though, men will tell
Stop
themselves.
it, Ian.
Do they actually believe? Okay, so just help me out here. Do they actually believe that they have the ability that they have, or are they telling themselves this so that they will feel better
So
and more
let me
adequate
give
as a
you
man?
the parallel to that.
Okay.
And I understand what you're saying. The parallel to that would be a woman who's fat, out of shape, looking crazy like Lizzo, and then she walk around thinking that she's fine.
Why like Lizzo?
No, listen.
Lizzo
No,
cute.
not new Lizzo, not new Lizzo, old
Oh,
Lizzo.
let's talk about the girl on the left. Let's talk about the girl. How
Yeah.
about her?
So
The who?
yeah, so you have somebody who's not at, and look, I'm not
The
mad
girl,
what you're
500
saying.
pounds, she ordered a compact car.
I'm not mad at that because there's a difference. So
Yeah.
the girl who may not be
She's
attract,
bogus.
everybody know a fat black woman who may not be the most attractive, but you can't tell her she ain't the shit. And I get it because she need to move like that so she could, you know what I'm saying? So that's different. That's somebody lying to themselves to have confidence is one thing. But
Okay.
I'm talking about
So a man. So you mean to tell me that a man who is,
The end
you
of
know,
brother.
pumping
Water, yeah.
I can't.
pumping himself up,
I
and,
can't.
and, and to say that he's got an anaconda when he's really got an inchworm? You mean to tell me he knows that he is an
yeah.
inchworm?
Of course he know. That's what I'm saying.
So,
You asked
so
me a question.
he don't believe that
No.
he's anaconda.
No, because he has eyes. He could quantify that. So a man whose thing is
Sorry.
3 inches long knows it's not 9. You understand? Like he can see it.
Girl, when I see you,
So he's got to pump himself up.
oh,
So that's
I
that's
don't.
fine. That's just
I
like,
just don't know because I feel like I've
well,
met
I'm giving you
guys
the
who actually
parallel. It's just like the woman.
this is so funny.
It's just like a woman who's not.
Oh,
She may not be all that, but she got to pump. She gon' You ain't gonna tell her she ain't all that. You know what I'm saying? So it's
oh
the same thing.
gosh.
Aaron, Ian. I don't know why I keep calling you Aaron. Maybe it's the liquor. I don't know. Ian, tell me what's wrong.
As a heterosexual black man, I can't help you in that department. I don't know. I can't tell you if that's your experience. I don't know.
So do you believe that men who know the truth are going to say something different, and they know that it's different, or do they actually convince themselves of this as a coping mechanism?
Well, I think
So that
it's, I
they
think
feel
it is as I think it is as I expressed earlier. I think both men and women do lie going into relationships. I think men
But
more.
are they lying unintentionally? Is that particular thing an unintentional lie, or is it an intentional lie?
If he's talking about his size, it's definitely intentional. It's an ego. It's an ego. He's protecting himself, and he wants to trying to convince you of the lie.
That's what I keep
Right?
saying.
He's trying to convince you. Well, it ain't me, baby. It might be you.
The Jedi mind
So,
trick.
right.
So
So
men know the truth,
they,
but
yes, we know.
they know.
We
So
know.
they're not telling themselves
No,
this as a coping mechanism
No.
to
no,
feel adequate
because
as a man.
especially we were in sports or whatever in the military, you end up in the locker rooms with one another. We know. We know.
Yeah. Men know if they we packing and not packing, but
Exactly.
that's not even you can tell yourself whatever you want to tell
Yeah.
yourself, but men, here's the thing. What I'm saying is that men men are not going to men can't convince themselves of something they know ain't true is what I'm saying. They just can't.
I just
They
don't
can
believe that.
pretend. We can pretend outwardly, but I'm saying inwardly, I think women have the ability to literally change what they
And
feel in
believe
their mind
they
and
they can make
convince
themselves
themselves
believe the
that
lie.
it's true. You know, they
And
convince
build a
themselves.
whole
A whole.
relationship in our brain.
Oh,
Men
Yes,
are
it ain't
that.
just a relationship part. Come on now, y'all can make yourself believe.
anything.
Men do
A
too.
woman, like I said earlier, you could have a woman. You could have a woman who the man may do 75% of everything, and she only does 25. You can't tell her she's not overwhelmed with life and needs a break. And I'm so you like a woman can convince
That's
herself
different. Now
of
you went somewhere different.
Yeah.
what'd you say?
Tanya,
So now you went somewhere
Tanya,
different with that part.
All
But
right, all right.
I
I'm
do
sorry.
believe
So
that
let me.
women we are better at making things up in our heads. And
Yes,
men
whatever
when
your
men do
reality.
it, they full of it. Like, no. They deal more with the reality of things. Even if they're lying to us, they know the reality. They're not making it something that it's not. We are big on that because we get so tied into our emotions and what we want it to be that we make it that. We give men are way simpler than we give credit, right? We make all these, well, he would commit if he wasn't so scared. No, if he wanted to commit, he's going to commit. and I've seen it. I mean, I've
Man, the
got four
midnight
brothers.
snacks
I've
is serious.
Got chicken wings on this
The
thing.
midnight
What'd you
snacks
say?
is serious. Yo, y'all Yizzle, she taking the wings. The wings ain't got a chance, okay? The wings ain't
Drink
got.
your water, y'all.
I know how to
What
cook
kind
it.
of
Yo,
Negro show did this turn
they
into?
went in with me. They came out with nothing. She's been just.
You,
I'm
They ain't got
sorry.
a chance.
My bad.
what kind of
I'm a little.
Negro madness is this?
Yo,
Hold on.
No, this
yo,
is
this
funny.
is funny. I'm enjoying this.
Now,
Savvy over there, she chilling. She chilling with her snacks. Everybody got the snacks going on.
I know I'm getting
Yeah,
hungry
what?
now.
No, I had to get my smoothie because Chanja got the pizza. Y'all
For his
Yizzle
I
blood
know.
flow.
got her wings, and Savvy she munching on something over there.
Popcorn.
I look
I
like
like
popcorn.
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 That's what we're doing. Okay,
Skinny pop.
okay.
Skinny pop, all the skinny pop. You hitting that
okay,
white cheddar.
Tanja,
Hmm.
help me out, sister. What you think?
What's
Just
up?
anything but anaconda, please.
Tanja is too sophisticated for this madness.
No,
No, no,
she
you're
know.
never too sophisticated for madness.
What you think, sister? Come on, tell me
Ab-
what you think.
About about what?
Do you believe that men tell
That's the
themselves
indicator.
they have more skills or more a bigger package than they do,
Is
and
that the
and
subject?
know? I believe that some men
Is that
know
the
they lie.
subject?
Some men convince themselves.
Wait, did we change the
It's a whole new,
subject?
it's a whole new show now.
It's a whole different.
You,
This turned out to be a porn.
you know,
I know
No,
it's like
it's
after
not about
dark.
porn.
It's after
It's
dark.
about lying.
let me just say, I can't really speak about the package size, but I'm gonna say this: that I think men tend to be in denial about testosterone levels dropping. That's what I'm
Ooh,
saying.
that's a different thing. You hitting some differences. All right.
I
I
mean,
told you she was too sophisticated for this. She just came
um,
with some. She
Woo.
came
It's
with the
male
real deal.
menopause.
Okay.
yeah,
That's a thing.
like yeah, and so it's like it's
Don't,
it's
don't be
like it's
working. Don't
it's
be
the
working
elephant.
properly.
It's the elephant in the room, or what you trying to do? It's not working. It's not
Right,
functioning.
right. But
No,
Ooh.
no,
then,
no, no. But this is a real thing, though, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's like, so do you say? I mean, do you talk about it? Like,
It's,
do
No.
you
well,
talk about the fact,
it's all,
or do you want?
it's,
Wait. Or do we pretend like, or do we have to pretend? It's like there's a
yeah,
problem.
in that
So,
department, I would
what are we
probably
gonna
say
do?
there's definite deniability. Uh,
Yeah.
but that's denial, wholeheartedly
You make that
denial.
Yeah.
smoothie and put the testosterone pills in there and just mix it up. That's what
Well,
you do.
when
Effie drinks a testosterone
men
smoothie.
don't realize that that's all diet related, and
Right.
it's all blood flow. And if there, it's really an early indicator of other more problematic diseases, whether it's heart disease, clogged valves, et cetera, so on. So
So
Prostate
true.
issues.
it really is an indicator on how you're eating and other things going on in your life. So uh, a man who's consciously and healthy with regards to that, he ain't there ain't no problems like that. If you don't need pills if you eat properly.
I
I,
agree.
I
I
haven't been
totally
on
agree.
medication in 25, 26 years on any medication. I don't subscribe to it. Because food is medicine. And as soon as we start embracing that and eat accordingly, and
okay, well then men need to start being a little bit more realistic with themselves about the issues that they have instead
absolutely,
of trying
I
to
agree.
toot their
absolutely.
own horn that don't blow.
Well,
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 that's true. We have,
they,
you know,
they start with the meat, and ain't nothing coming out. They start beeping, and ain't no
That's a
sound.
red flag. So if you was somebody who's talking about their anaconda, That's a red flag that you probably don't have much of an
Yeah,
anaconda.
that's
That's a
like
clue.
goofy, but that's
Yeah,
goofy. That's
I
goofy
mean,
vibes.
especially at
It,
our age group, they're having that
yeah,
conversation.
that's
That's a
goofy. That's
Well,
clue.
goofy energy.
it may not
Abandonment.
necessarily. It may not necessarily
Well, what
be in
about
that way.
Uh-oh.
what about men that want to still be players in their 50s?
Hmm.
I,
And what about
Ooh.
that? Like, let's talk about that. Let's talk
That's a
about
problem.
Listen,
what's
That's a
I
problem.
love it. Tanja's whole vibe,
uh,
I love it. First of all, she got the professional earpiece in.
yeah, I'm
You
about to
know,
go find me a headset because I'm like,
you know, I got
see
one of
the word
those.
is born.
I have one of those. I think I'm gonna start using that.
Yeah.
And and she has the pen. She's
Oh
taking
yeah,
notes, so I love it.
she's been
I know
clicking.
she
So,
She's been clicking that joint.
Without the
but
bed
men
in the
be
background, she'd be in a call center.
or
you stupid.
or or she look like or you look like you on here giving like you one of the therapists for better help.
Oh,
Better help. Is that what
Jesus.
it's called?
Yeah,
Right.
better health.
Like a
You
therapy.
know.
She's like our therapist right now. So I
This is
love it.
called I don't want to scream to hear you guys speak, so I can just hear you clearly through the headset.
No,
So
there
men
you
being
go.
players in their 50s.
Yes.
I'm not in my 50s yet, but what I think is that
Let's say
midlife,
40s. I think,
midlife crisis.
even in
let's
their
say
40s.
mid 40s and 50s. Let's just say over
After
45.
that,
I
I would
still
say
want to
that
be.
there are men who it depends on the type of man you catch. So you might find somebody who's been through who was more serious about stuff and then got to a point where they just want to play around. There is a freedom to just be able to kind of play around and not get back into nothing serious. And men do like variety. We can pretend like we don't, but we do. Um, but but I think that trying to be a player, I'm just speaking from my personal perspective. I think being a player, quote unquote, is kind of stupid when you get older because to being a player means we're going to sneak around and pretend and lie and move. That to me, that's I would feel corny at my age. I'm 46. I would feel corny doing that right now because I don't really have time to be doing that, to be playing around like I'm in my 20s. You know what I'm saying? So if I don't want to be faithful, me personally, I think it's good for a man, people in their 50s especially, to kind of just be honest. But there are guys, and Ian said it earlier, there are guys who just get older. I've met cats like that. I remember this cat I used to know, he was like maybe like at the time, he was like 52. And this was about 10 years ago. And this cat I used to see around the way where I used to live. And he used to admire my car. So we used to talk here and there. I got an old school car. So we talk here and there. And just the way he would talk, it kind of shocked me. Because I might have been 1 or 2 years in the marriage at the time. And it kind of shocked me because he was like 52. And we were just talking and he was just talking. I was like, damn, this guy sound younger than me. So there are guys who kind of get off on just being a quote unquote player. So to answer your question, Tanja, I mean those unfortunately for me are the worst kind of guys because not so much because they want to have multiple women. That's not really the issue, but the fact of being older, they kind of get off on the game, the playing the game more than having a
Yeah,
real
it's a
mind.
lot of them haven't had. It's a ego thing for some of them at that point. Midlife crisis, ego, and and some depending on everybody has a different story. It could be they didn't have that playtime in their younger years. They weren't attractive to the ladies at that time, and or they might have been in one relationship. And I've heard this from women too. They got into a relationship, person smashed their heart up. Now they out here like, look, I'm gonna just be an all out hoe at this point. Like everybody's gonna get it now. They're not gonna, I'm out here, I'm slaying a dragon with everybody. I don't care. I'm not trying to be nice with nobody right now. So there are men out there that go out after they got brokenhearted and they just like they coming to destroy everybody in their path, and women the same, going out to destroy everything in their path because they're not willing to be vulnerable anymore. So they just wanted, I'm gonna just be a player.
Mukasa.
So I'm not willing to be vulnerable anymore. So Um, and if and I think in the society now as a whole, I mean, and that's and the other part that I was saying, people aren't as ready as they claim. People like, for example, claim they want a long term relationship, really want casual. Because a long term relationship, there's more. A long term relationship, there's more. There's more expectations in that particular situation, and there's different types of conversations, and there's so that's been my experience of running into women that say I want a long term relationship, but they're really don't want that. They really want they're not ready for it themselves, and or they really just want something casual, but they don't want to say that because there's a stigma to that.
And
Oh my
I
God,
think
Ian!
a lot
I'm
of
telling you that is so true. Because Twin, I'll just say this real quick. I wanted to say, piggybacking off of Ian, there are, well, actually answering Times' question too. As far as men, there are a lot of women who are in the same space, and they just don't call themselves players. But there are a lot of women who are like, yeah, like there are a lot of older women who are like, yo, I'm
I'm
about
doing
to,
me.
yeah, I'm doing me. You know what I'm saying? And so I think
So
that what you say, V? What you
I
say,
said,
V?
hello.
Hello. I saw that look. She's like, yeah, that's me, right? So I think when you get older, honestly, in my opinion, I think I really don't judge men or women. I think when you get older, if you wanna, you know, throw your panties or your drawers off all the time, when you want to do, more power to you. Do your thing.
I don't think it's anything wrong with that if you're going to level with people and let them know.
Yes,
You know what I'm
absolutely.
saying?
That's I
If
totally
that's where
agree.
you are in your life, then that's fine. But just say,
Yeah,
hey, I'm not interested in being in a monogamous type of situation. I want to be free.
yeah.
Then
well,
go
I
be
think
free.
being older and wasting people's time is just
Yeah,
crazy to
exactly.
me. I
that's,
don't get
that's
it.
I
Yeah.
think dating older though is a little easier because you don't get so much of that. I think for the most part, people are they're coming with whatever they are. Like if you are in your whole phase, people are coming straight with it because there's enough people who are with you on there, right? So
Hmm.
at this age, there's no stigma. I mean, I don't think any 48, 49-year-old woman is afraid of being called a hoe. Like we real grown now, right? No one cares.
We double
And
grown.
for the guys, for the men, they've been around the block and they know if they're dating, women that we're vets now. You dating a vet, whatever it is, everybody just puts it on the table and you proceed as necessary. But all this other stuff, I think it gets more complicated when you're in a relationship phase. But dating at this age should be easy if you are just dating. If you're dating to be committed, then it's like, all right, you need to find somebody who's wants that same level of commitment and they understand what they want. You're right, Ian, to what Ian says. Some women say they want this and the other, but they look at it in terms of what the man will do for them, and they're not really looking at what they will be called to do, right? Because there's a responsibility in being in a relationship. It's not just, oh, well, me and my man, we going on trips, or I got a plus one for this activity. I mean, there's some things that you will be called on to do. There's some understandings that you'll have to have, right?
Well,
Oh, Boo's
I,
working overtime. He can't make it to the little barbecue at your girlfriend's house. How are you handling that? Because you won't get those pictures, sis. It's not going to be on Instagram today. So people got to figure out what exactly do you want. And just if you
mhm.
hold true to what you want and you know what it is, dating is easy. It shouldn't be
Well,
complicated.
I think the human element though is that what ends up happening is that, and I agree with you, Vina. But the human element is that people say they're dating and then they end up liking people, and then that's the unplanned feelings that come up that you don't think you're going to have, men and women alike. So a lot of people dating is,
Yeah,
and I
I
agree with you. You
agree.
have to date, but you're going to have to keep yourself emotionally on a particular track because a lot of people will date. You might have sex, you might get to get whatever it is, and then you might like each other. You may not want a full-fledged relationship, but you may start liking that person or want to be around that person a little bit more than the other. So you got to keep yourself
But that
mentally
might
in a
be
certain
okay
space.
too. You can like each other and date. This is my sweetie pie. We date, whatever.
No, no, I'm with
Here.
that. I'm with that, but when it's not mutual, that's when it start getting a little crazy. Because
Right.
if you feel mutually the same way, then cool. Then you end up eventually maybe in some type of relationship. But I
Well,
think
I would like
you know,
to. I concur with my BFF over there about dating at this age should be easy. It's not always easy, but I am willing to be. I am especially now completely honest. Number one, I'm not looking for nothing. Like I am just not interested in dating. I'm interested in my peace. I'm good by myself, and I genuinely mean that right now. However, I realize, and this is to all the listeners out there, that I encourage you to be honest with yourself and with other people. I know my kids are not going to be young forever, and as they get older and they go off on their way, that it will. At that time, I will probably want to maybe be, in some sort of situationship, which hopefully we can get into that in another podcast. Situationship versus relationship. Is it better to be, emotionally involved, or is it better to be transactional? Maybe we can get to that next week.
Now, how old are you talking about for yourself?
right.
Probably, maybe in 10 years, when my daughter and my son are in their teen years.
And what are you expecting the dating pool to look like for you in 10 years by comparison to now?
Um, truth. You want the truth? And I'll tell you the truth. Okay.
Wait.
Um,
Oh my God.
when I get to be in my 60s, I'm looking for rich geezers to eat shrimp with. Go on cruises with, and just have a little fun, play some
And how old
cards,
are these men you're talking about?
huh?
When you're in your
Oh,
60s, how old are these men you're talking about?
either they're. I would say I don't want
Please.
anybody below 50. So you got to be 50 and up to hang with me, and the 50-year
And
olds.
So
what's
you're
the
saying
oldest?
wealthy
The oldest
50-year-old men are going to be looking for Yaya in her 60s?
they might be. Damn it,
I'm
some
just
some men
asking. I'm
some
just,
men
I'm
like
just making sure I
some
heard
men,
you.
especially the white men, they like a little chocolate. I'm just saying.
Okay.
The oldest, um, maybe about 85. I'm just saying.
85. 85.
Because at that age,
85.
I'm trying to laugh. I'm just
She's
saying,
gonna, she's gonna be dating. She's
y'all, look,
yo.
Nursing home action.
about
Oh,
85, shit is real simple at that age, okay? They don't want shit. They go to bed real early. They probably really can't get up, so
No,
not expecting a whole lot of
Maybe
I
sex.
had
turn in
to
at
get
the
my I
nursing
had to
home.
get my iron to help me out. She dating men that got shit like this.
Did you guys know that there are high STD rates at the nursing homes?
in
Yep,
nursing home?
they are getting it in the nursing homes,
Yo,
y'all.
I got my iron.
I
I got my iron. I was like, I need to find something. Y'all saying she dating men is walking around like this.
And there might be some anacondas up in that them 80s.
wheelchairs and walkers.
You ready?
Girl, when I catch you with this walker, oh my gosh, you
Oh Lord.
I'm not.
oh,
Look, at that age, they
oh.
can't get it up. Okay, they fall asleep all the time. They probably just want somebody who is okay with a man who wears a diaper. Okay, you know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
no,
Like,
girl.
as long as I ain't got to change it, we cool.
When you get that old, you just need you just need a friend here and there. That's it.
Exactly.
That's about it.
Exactly.
You know.
You know what I'm
Or
saying? You need somebody who's gonna leave you something in their will.
You
You
talking
need
about
somebody,
Can y'all hear me? Can you
Yeah.
Yes,
hear me? Do you
yes,
know that there's a high STD rates in the nursing homes?
yes. We
They are
heard
getting it
that,
in. They
but I'm
don't
just
want just a
saying
little friend.
they can't get it up. They can't get it up at that
They
age.
are getting it up, sis,
Well, that's because
and
they got
getting it
them older.
in.
That's because they got them younger women looking for a sugar daddy and taking advantage of them old geezers. I don't
No,
want
it's their
nothing.
No,
fellow
listen.
nursing home residents. They be
Sure.
sneaking
I was
between
gonna say
rooms.
there's some older ones that probably had the
Well, I'm not
was
looking
burning
for
for a
that.
while too.
I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for men who are.
She want an
I'm not
85-year
saying.
old with an anaconda.
I'm not saying that they. I'm not looking for men who are necessarily on their deathbed.
She want an 85-year old with an anaconda. She talking about.
No, I'm not. I'm I'm being serious.
What's
Where's she,
confident about it?
where's she
I'm
on
not. I'm not.
prescription?
I'm not. I'm not necessarily looking for somebody who's on their deathbed, but I'm not looking for somebody
Oh
who's
my
trying to
gosh.
be, Wild West either. Look, I'm looking for somebody who's real chill, who likes to take naps. We can take a nap together.
Naps. What we
Who
doing
likes to
today,
take
baby? We gonna take a nap.
right? Who likes to take short walks.
You go
Somebody
Sure.
who likes
She said short walk.
short walk.
Listen, if you over 70 or you 75 or 80, I mean, you ain't got nothing to really worry about. You ain't really worried about diseases. You ain't worried about no
Why? Because you're
commitment.
gonna die anyway. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, like I'm not saying you
Man,
want
your outlooks of life
STDs,
is
but
crazy, y'all. With y'all
you got
70s.
other problems when you 80 anyway at certain points anyway.
So if
So it don't
so
really.
you 85 and you get gonorrhea, it's like, oh well. Is that what you're saying?
Well,
Yo,
that ain't gonna be
what's in
me.
your cup,
But
Yaya? She bugging tonight. What you got in
I
your
know.
cup?
You asked me what's the oldest, and I'm being honest with you. Somebody's about 85 who don't want shit but companionship. That's the ideal relationship right there. Somebody who's old, who's got some money, who don't
Well,
have.
are we at that point now though, or everybody at that point now? Because I think that in the 50s, 40s, and 50s are people like that now. Because the other thing I think
Some
I
are.
wanted to introduce, I'm gonna break this into two shows because I think we've had the after dark version. So the after dark version, I have to edit this into a second show. um, is there anything? Is there anything called unconditional love? Is that even a thing?
Mm,
Is that a myth? Because
mm.
we all people talk about that, but I
In
don't think romantic
relationships,
I think
romantic relationships, no.
relationships are
I
unconditional.
think for men, I think men in a lot of cases going in, they have unconditional love. I don't know. I can't speak
Bullshit.
for women.
Bullshit. I'm gonna call bullshit on
I
that
can't.
one
I can't
immediately.
speak. I can't speak for women. But
Bullshit, Ian. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I
you
gotta
don't
call
think
bullshit
you
on
don't think men love unconditionally?
hell no. Hell no. You do one thing wrong, you don't wear the right outfit, they don't like your hair, and they
What
on to
kind
the
of men
next
you
one.
dating?
They never loved you if it's like that. They never
I
loved you.
That's not
actually, I actually think men love much deeper than women when they
That's what
love.
I tell it,
Be
Tony.
honest, shadow of a
Please,
doubt,
please
Yeah.
go
hands
ahead.
down. Men, when they love you, they love you. They're not. I mean, they might not like the fact that you gain weight, and they might talk about it to their friends, but they're not going anywhere. But women, we are definitely more conditional, and we'll complain, and we might even leave you, and then we're going to cry and do all of that and move on with our lives. A man, when you break their heart,
Mm.
it's like they hold on to it. It takes them a very long time to heal. It takes them a very long time to trust and to have faith in relationships. The whole concept of marriage, you pretty much destroy it when you break a man's heart. It takes them a really long time. Women, we'll get through it. We'll cry. We'll call our best friends on the phone. and then we move on. And then we move on and have new relationships, and it's in the past, and it's just not that way for men.
I I totally agree with that. I think that it's spot on. I mean, it's definitely.
Yeah.
I think it's because of the structure of how relationships are. You know, women definitely look at relationships in a way where it's like I don't think most men. I'm not saying it's a hard fast rule. Most men aren't in relationships like, okay, the relationship is for me. I think a lot of women are usually when they're in a relationship, the relationship is for them. So when things are not going right or that man isn't delivering on something that they feel like was for them, then that disposition makes them say, it does change a lot of things.
Absolutely.
If you're um whatever's happened, whether you had and now you don't have, um, or you're going through life changes, whatever it is, there's a lot of things where, with women, I'm not saying they don't love deeply, but I agree. It is conditional. But I think it's just the way that it's a dynamic of how most relationships are the way we see it. So